Hi, everybody. Ron Placone here. You're watching another summary from the Indie Bohemians Morning Show. And today is a follow-up on something I had talked about a little bit ago, both on the morning show and in the summaries here on the YouTube channel. And that was the Black Friday protests that just happened. This was organized by a group called our Walmart, which was Walmart workers that are demanding $15 an hour and better treatment of employees. They were going to protest on Black Friday. They did protest. And I foreshadowed that this was going to be a pretty big event because Black Friday always gets media coverage on both sides of the aisle. Some people are like, oh, look at all these great sales. And then, of course, the media tries to make it out like it's this ethical institution, like, oh, consumerism, we're going too far. And this year was no different. They likened the whole, oh, look at how many people went out on Black Friday compared to how many people voted in the midterms, which I get the sentiment, but really, do we want the people that are willing to stab each other over a television set going out and voting? Is that really going to solve any of our problems? I don't think so. I think that's kind of, there's other problems that are really the cause of a lot of things here. But so I really thought because of all that, the workers being there right in the thick of things, that's really going to get some attention. And it's really going to kind of make Walmart synonymous with people that don't treat employees right, institutions that really don't treat employees right at all, which I think is fair. But I don't think it quite got to that point. I think the Huffington Post gave it some coverage. You didn't see much on any of the major outlets, the CNNs or anything like that. Fox News did a brief segment on the war on Walmart. There was some of that. And the reason I don't think it quite got the traction that I foreshadowed and that I think a lot of people foreshadowed has nothing to do with the protest itself. The protesters did a great job. A lot of people showed up for it. This is by no means a critique of our Walmart. Just throwing that out there. This is by no means a critique of that group. But it's a pretty obvious stifling thing here. It starts with an F. It ends with an N. Exactly. Fun. It wasn't fun enough. Where were all the cool phallic symbols? Where was the scantily clad women that said minimum coverage on us is great, but don't you want more than minimum wage? Where was all the bacon that people were handing out saying, hey, don't you want us to be able to bring home the bacon too? No, I'm kidding. Obviously, it's not fun. The answer, of course, is Ferguson. Ferguson, when I made my foreshadowing a little bit ago, I did not know that the Ferguson verdict would be given so close to Black Friday. And of course, the Ferguson news has been very, very loud. I don't want to talk about Ferguson right now. That's not the topic of this video, and I really don't want to get into it. But I think as a result of Ferguson being so present in the news cycle, the Black Friday protests did not get the traction I really thought they would have gotten otherwise. I hope the same thing happens again next year, though. Not the same thing as in another Ferguson happening or anything like that. The same thing as in the Black Friday protests happens. That's the only thing I want. I want the news to be pretty calm and no crazy, horrific acts of violence, or at least none that are totally unreasonable that we can't at least expect when we wake up in the morning. But hopefully the news fear isn't totally going crazy because I really do feel like the premise is good. My forecast was definitely off. But again, I was certainly not expecting the Ferguson, that Ferguson ruling to come at that exact time. I know they were saying November at some point, but no one really knew when, and I did not kind of take that into account. So I think those Walmart protests were stifled, and that is why it is because of Ferguson. Now, a few groundkeeping measures for some of our regular viewers. You may have noticed something. The lamp shade is gone. It's actually not gone. It's just over there. You can't see it. But it is not where it usually is. What's there now is a record player. And some of you guys that might not be a fan of mine might be thinking, oh, Ron, you trendy millennial, you broke down and you're buying vinyl now. Look, it was a gift to me. This was a present. This was actually a birthday present. And I'm glad it was a birthday present. I'm happy to start collecting vinyl. I never collected vinyl in my life. I would just buy it for my dad instead because I thought if I ever start collecting vinyl, I will run out of expendable income really fast. But now it was imposed on me. I got a record player. I'm glad I got a record player. Now I'm going to contribute to those NPR statistics. And I'm a millennial, so that, hey, you know what, whatever. guilty as charged. I'm excited about it. I got the first thing I picked up was a King Tuff record that was recorded exclusively at Third Man Records. I picked it up at Third Man because I live in Nashville. So it was pretty cool. A couple quick roundskeeping real quick there. Wanted to mention that for some of our regular viewers. It's now a record player, not a lampshade. You've been watching a summary from the Indie Bohemians Morning Show, and this is Ron Placone signing out.